What is up, everybody? Sorry about that. Having a little technical difficulties. Didn't realize I was live, although I wanted to go live, just so we're clear. But it is a film review day, and a majority of everybody wanted to see the offense. So that's what we are watching again. I feel like if I put it out to a poll pretty much every single week, y'all are going to choose the offense, which is understandable. But this week, it was really a tale of two halves. You had the first half where the 49ers only put up 6 points. In the second half, they went absolutely crazy with 24 total points scored. And really, it could have been 7 more, but at the very end, Garindo went ahead, stayed in bounds, and slid instead of getting his first touchdown. So we're going to watch the game back, talk about the good, talk about the bad, and we're headed into a bye week. So let's get into it. All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And as I said, it is a film review day. I know, but everybody wanted to see the offense. So here we are. We're going to watch the offense. We'll see if we have time. Maybe I can go pull up the defense as well. That being said, let's jump right into it. Okay. Here we go. Full screen. All right, let's go. 49ers immediately came out in this game and ran the ball with Deebo Samuel. I don't know about y'all, but to me, Deebo Samuel in the backfield and then running the ball is something that I feel like was played out a while ago. I'm not a big fan of it. Now, the nice thing is that they use it later here in a couple plays to get the deep shot to Deebo Samuel. But for me, I don't want him running the ball out of the backfield. I just think it's a surefire way to get hit by a bunch of large players for no reason. And I don't think Deebo really should be subject to that punishment. He's already got the rib injury. We see that he left yesterday's game. So to me, I'm just not a fan of it. Ricky Pearsall making a statement nice and early in this game was really cool to see. And I feel like this is where Ricky's at his best. He even slips there. But if you can get him in space and work against some linebackers, get him in motion, get him on the move, get him free releases so he's off the line of scrimmage, really running out of that slot, I think that's the best thing for him. Yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly early, 6 points at half with these weapons given Lawrence, Parsons, and Bland. Just awful. Well, don't forget that Parsons and Lawrence's backups were also out. So that plays as well. They were down to their 5th and 6th string edge rushers. But, the 49ers had injuries as well. It's just a part of the league right now. But definitely not ideal. Here we go. Here's the Deebo play. I really felt like Kyle Shanahan did a really good job play calling this week. I know some people disagreed with that, but I mean, look at this. This is masterful right here. You get Deebo in the backfield. You get him in motion. Because Kendricks follows him. See how Kendricks is right here in the gap? He follows him. So now it's man, and he's one-on-one with a linebacker. If that ball is placed a little bit better, Deebo might be able to take it to the house. He might be able to take it to the house. He might crib that. I mean, you got a clean pocket. I mean, I'll take the completion no matter what, but that's 3 throws in 2 weeks where Purdy's just barely undershot a deep ball that could have resulted in a much bigger play. But we'll definitely take it. We will definitely take it. And Deebo doing Deebo things, breaking a tackle here. It's good to see. Yeah, I wonder if Lance Kendricks wishes that he had chose the 49ers. What do you think? Hand off to Mason here. Going to the left. Let's hope he's okay with his shoulder injury. We'll see how it plays out, but I really do feel like the offensive line held up pretty good again this game as far as pass protection went. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So look at this. This is what Dallas started doing. And you'll see in the second half, I feel like Shanahan did a really good job. He and Purdy together did a really good job of making sure they had a game plan for this. But you got 6 linemen. Well, 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, but they're all right up front. So basically, you got a 6-man front. Makes it really, really tough to run against this. And I think at times during this half, because this was shown, the 49ers kind of got away from the run game a bit. But at the same time, they used it to their advantage big time in the second half. Did I say Lance Kendricks? I keep saying Lance Kendricks. Eric Kendricks, yes. Lance Kendricks was a football player as well. So it's not like I'm that far off. Was he a linebacker as well? And it is, yes. I know it's Eric Kendricks. I've always called him Lance Kendricks. I don't know why. But Eric Kendricks, he was with the Vikings. At least I got his last name right. Coach be messing up all of it. He'll be calling people like completely different names. At least I was close. Coach be all over the place. That's how we came up with just a Mordecai. Everybody, he called like 5 people one night Mordecai, Tanner Mordecai. It's like, dude, every player on the field can't be Tanner. It's just not the way that it works. So funny. Pearsall again. See, Brock was just a little bit off in this first half. A little bit off. Although I actually think that was a pretty good throw. You're going to the right. You got to throw it across body. You got somebody in your face. I actually don't have a problem with him missing a little bit low and outside there. See, now you've really got like 8 men up. That's crazy. They're just selling out to stop the run. A lot of teams been doing that this year against the 49ers. Once they saw Mason was a guy, or just a Mordecai, that's when they knew. That's when they knew. What's up, Rick? Yeah, Leo, Pearsall impressed me as well. I don't know about Edelman. Edelman was, I feel like Pearsall's a better athlete than Edelman, but Edelman was just so tough at the catch point, man. Edelman was really good. Really, really good. Yeah, they did. They had 6 on the line, Daz, a lot. But you know what? The 49ers did a really, really, really good job. Actually, I want to go back to that because I think this was the play where there was some controversy early on. I think a lot of people were frustrated. So this was a 3rd down play. A lot of people, myself included, by the way, I was like, dude, Kyle, what are you doing? It's 3rd down and 10. Why are you running the ball? But what you notice is Brock here taps the helmet and gives the can call. So whatever pass play they had, he switched it to a run himself. And he does it later in the game as well on a 3rd down, which resulted in them going forward on 4th down. But they just don't get anything here. And I guess I'm a little confused as to what he saw. I mean, yes, you've got some gaps here, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people basically, and then a 7th right here roaming, and everybody else is close to the line of scrimmage. I mean, close-ish to the line of scrimmage. I don't understand why we switched to a run there, but I think the other part that's tough though is it's like we don't know what Kyle's telling him in his ear. You know, yes, Brock Purdy's the one that switched the play, but does Kyle say, "Hey, if we get this look, you got to switch it"? I don't know. We just don't know how much autonomy he does and doesn't have. We know that he gets 2 plays. We know he can't audible to any play he wants. I get all of that, but we don't know if Kyle's like, "Hey, this look, you make sure to go to this." I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. But either way, it's a very short gain on 3rd and 10, and you're kicking a long field goal. So, thank goodness kicker made it. Nakfa says, "What's up, Jesse? This red shorts all year. I hope you have a change of heart on the offensive line." Um, Smash the like button. I appreciate you. In what fashion? I mean, I think I've been talking about how the offensive line has played pretty damn good all year. Are you saying that they aren't playing good and I should have a change of heart? Or hey, they've been playing good and you've watched it. Maybe you should give them a little bit more credit or feel better about it. I don't know in what way you mean it, but I appreciate you for tapping in. See, I thought Kyle does a good job here. Much better in this game, getting Brock on the move, dialing some things up. Man, number 2 is like, I should have had that. Are you kidding me? How did I not pick that off? Already just floated it right there. Perfect. Oof. You'd like a little bit more zip in that situation. Like a little bit more zip, and he definitely has it. Oh, good throw, though. It's a good throw. You can see why 2 would be pretty upset, though. Like, dang, man, I should have had that. Here we go with this heavy front again. Go play action. I felt like that was pass interference. I remember that play. I felt like that was pass interference on 2. Good job going play action. 13 does a good job here of kind of spying Purdy. Like, he definitely didn't trip. 2 definitely didn't trip. He dove at Debo for sure. Look at 13. Look at how good of a job he does here. Just making sure that Purdy can't roll out. They had him in and out of doing that throughout the game. It was a nice little game plan. But whenever they weren't doing it, Brock made them pay. And even one time when they did do it, Brock still made them pay with his legs for sure. Zach Garindo. Yeah. So Garindo still does this. He still does this where he runs down the back of an offensive lineman and trips. He'll do this from time to time. He's just so explosive, though, that when he can get to the outside, he's a menace. But he he definitely trips on the back of his blocks, usually at least once a game. So he's got to work through that, but he's an explosive athlete. I think between him, Mason, and CMC, I mean, you've got a rookie in Garendo, you've got Mason and CMC that are banged up. Be nice to get like a 40-40-20 split type of situation going. That way they can all just stay well rested and ready for what you hope is a playoff run. Now, I had somebody DM me on this one. They thought the throw was so off. They're like, dude, did Brock get hit on that one? He certainly did not get hit on this one. It was just off. It's just a missed opportunity. What down was that? 3rd down, I think. I think it was 3rd down. Yeah, 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Ugh, damn. Brock talked about this as well after the game that he was off. He was off. He knew he was off in the first half, and he just had to kind of calm himself down and realize how good he is and go out there and execute. And he did very, very good in the second half. But the first half, man, he definitely had some misses that he wishes he had back. That being one of them. Yeah, I agree, Leo. I mean, there is some good that can come from that for sure. Some really, really good that can come from that. Gosh, dude. This was the penalty on Saubert, wasn't it? My gosh, man. So, I mean, you think about it, you compound on everything. And this is kind of what happened last week versus the Chiefs. And this is where you kind of got to give Purdy some credit, right? Because similar situation last week where Purdy was not playing well. He had some misses early. You could tell it was frustrating for him. And then he throws it to Ayuk. And Ayuk drops the ball. And it's like, man, you had the opportunity to kind of help your young player work through this and build some confidence, and you drop it, and it turns out to be an issue. Well, this week, you got Brock struggling. You have right here a chance for him to push through and get something big to go his way, to get some major confidence early on in this game, or earlier in this game, I should say. And you get a penalty right here, Saubert just hugging his player, and a touchdown gets called back. And so Brock continues to struggle throughout the first half. Now, luckily, Brock was able to kind of work through it mentally at halftime and come out in the second half and play a lot better. But, you know, these types of plays, these killers right here from guys like Saubert, it's like, man, you're not doing your quarterback any favors. And especially when you've got a young quarterback and he is struggling, you definitely don't want to take big time plays off the board. And it happened last week and it happened this week. And I think in both instances, had Ayuk caught last week's pass and Saubert not gotten a penalty here, you would have seen Brock kind of break through a little bit earlier than what he did. So frustrating. So frustrating. Man. Now, on the flip side, if he doesn't hold, you know, maybe that pass isn't completed, but still, man. It sucks. I feel like I do it every week, but man, early on, the offensive line's been good again. It's been good again. Brock does a good job here going 1, 2, 3. Really, I think he makes it to read number 4 here. Keeps his composure. Works back to the backside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. That's read number 4. You love it. You love it. You love it. Give him some time, let him execute. Now it looks like you got a man situation. Handing off into a pretty heavy front here. Dallas did a pretty good job in the first half. They did defensively, for sure. They did a good job. Just a good game plan. They've been watching everybody else kind of around the league figure out what to do with the 49ers run game, and they just copied it. They literally just copied it, and it worked well for them for a half. In the second half, the 49ers had a good game plan, passed their way out of that, and then from there on, they were able to run. Nice timing throw from Brock. You know, for Ricky to be a rookie who was injured, for him and Purdy to be on the same page there with the depth, the speed of the route and everything, it's pretty good to see. It's very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. And if you give Ricky free releases, man, he's gonna eat you alive. He will. He will eat you alive. I think it was after this play, actually. I had said, I tweeted out, man, it just everything seems so difficult for this offense. Like it's like they labor through every yard. They have to earn every single yard, it feels like at times. And that's not something that we're used to with this offense. We're used to this offense just humming, 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 humming. Positive gain, positive gain, positive gain. And this year it's just like you'll see glimpses of it, but then there are times, a majority of the time, it just seems like every yard is so tough to get. You got penalties that are killing drives and big plays. You don't have as many broken tackles as what you're used to. It's just everything. They have to fight for every yard, it feels like this year. What? You sold your tickets to the Tampa game. What? It was my birthday gift from August. I remember you were talking about this. They didn't know it was my daughter's birthday. I can't make it. Oh, no. Oh, no. That sucks. Dang. Well, listen, you got to do the dad thing, but geez. That sucks. That sucks. Well, anybody that's going to the Tampa game, I'll be there. So I'll be there. Yeah, sorry about that, Hugo. That's lame. I think you would have been able to see a Niner victory too, which sucks even more for you. Okay, so real quick, again, I was like, man, why are they running the ball here? But Brock is the one that cans out of it again. And again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if Kyle's feeding him this or what, but it was definitely weird to see this. And then you got the errant throw to Debo, turnover on downs. It's crazy because when you saw it from this angle, it looked like Debo. You're like, dang, Debo, you should have caught it. It looks like he gets two hands on it. It definitely was not the case. It just wasn't a good throw. Man. Tis was a miss. Tis was a miss. Here we go. Garendo getting loose now. At this point, I think Mason is out of the game. Oh, gosh, man. He can just he's oh, he's gonna be awesome to have for a while. He can just be a home run threat, man. You love it. Look at that cut. Runs through a tackle. And that tackle's not easy to run through. Those low tackles like that, easy to get tripped up and fall off balance. And he just no problem. Love it. I don't know about CMC, NACFA, but he definitely he definitely has some promise for sure. Different players, but I think he can be a more dynamic runner than CMC ever was. I mean, that's one thing about CMC. As good as he was, he never had that just explosive breakaway speed, in my opinion. I mean, once he got out and got loose, he can get away, but Garendo just has a different gear that CMC doesn't have. But CMC is such a good blocker and pass catcher and all the other things. I mean, that's what makes him so great. But between Garendo and Mason, it's like, man, I wish they wouldn't have reworked and redone CMC's contract. I think between these two, they're kind of showing that it just didn't need to be done. And now you're stuck with next year a 29-year-old running back who's getting paid a lot of money. A lot of money. And you'll probably have to let Mason walk. I don't know. I like CMC, but I just don't think you should pay 28-year-old running backs that kind of money. I mean, Henry's having a hell of a career at his age, which is crazy to think, but Henry also is paid peanuts compared to what CMC's making. Patrick Taylor, yeah. I mean, he's fine, I guess. He's fine. Yeah, Henry's going crazy. I mean, you can trade anybody. I'm sure the cap hit won't be great. Debo. I think this is the second half now, right? We're in the second half. Pretty sure. Oh no, still the second quarter. My bad. Still the second quarter. This drive gets stalled out here because you get this drop and then you get the fumble from Brock. It's just like, gosh, man. I guess two separate drives got stalled out right in the same area because you get this, then Dallas gets the ball back. They basically go quick 3 and out. Then you get the ball again. Come on, Debo. Got to bring it in. Got to bring it in. Especially on a 1st and 20 situation. They get a field goal this drive, yeah? It was a good catch by Garendo. Good catch. Just a little outside. Forced him to lose his footing there a little bit. Hmm. Listen, we're a half in. You can't tell me the offensive line again hasn't done a good job today or in this game, at least through the first half. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy to me that people really try to like refute this, but we watch it every single week. every single week. They're doing a pretty dang good job. Let me come up. I'll defend my case. I'm telling you, Isaac has the same skill set as CMC. Granted, Isaac, whatever. Hold on a second. Sorry. Isaac is faster, but overall they have more in common than not. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. All right, so this is the final drive of the half. Purdy does a good job here, starting off with a nice scramble. Now, again, I think people assume that when a quarterback scrambles, it's because the offensive line somehow collapsed around him or whatever. The offensive line does a good job here. Now, nobody gets open, right? Nobody gets open, but the offensive line does its job. Offensive line does its job. All right, great start to a drive. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now here we're thinking, all right, for sure getting 3. It'll be 10-9 at half. Good to go. Good ball placement. Allows Kittle to just kind of stop on a dime and turn around, pick up a ton of extra yards. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh gosh, 6 has like no stop ability. That's awful. That was terrible. Yeah, he wanted that out pattern first. Probably better he doesn't complete that pass. I think that's probably him like half not wanting to complete it there because it's like, okay, well, if he doesn't get out of bounds, then what? And I don't know that they had any timeouts at this time. I can't remember the timeout situation. We can check it here in a second. You had one timeout. Yeah, you're probably better off not completing that one. Probably better off not completing it. And then now you're out of field goal range. Damn. So many missed opportunities in the first half. So many missed opportunities. Couple of them on Purdy, a couple of them on some other players. You had Saubert. You had Debo. You had Purdy with some miscues and misfires. It's just an ugly first half. Ugly first half offensively. Then they came out, I think, in the second half, just like on fire, if I remember correctly. Ah, that's like a staple play in this offense. Usually have one on each side. I don't think they had one on each side here, but Oh, you do. I don't know if Ricky runs the wrong route here, but usually when you have this concept from them, it's like a deep in curl on both of them. But at any rate, it's something you see a lot in this offense. Yeah, Hugo, it was. It was nice that Banks picked up that fumble. It's just good coverage, man. They made it tough. They made it tough on Purdy there. You'd have to have a howitzer to get that one there. Now, interestingly enough, it was Dallas's special teams that really set the 49ers up well at times in the second half, starting with the very first play. You remember, you had Aubrey kick it short, and the 49ers started at the 40. Very, very, very beneficial here. And then they take advantage of it. Yeah, 209er. I agree. I thought Kyle did a good job in this game. I really did. A lot of people wanted to bitch about his play calling. I didn't see it in this game. I thought he did a good job. I think Purdy just executed a hell of a lot better in the second half. And because of it, you just had an explosion offensively. I think that's the first time we've seen pressure get through pretty early. Brock Purdy does a good job just escaping. Nice, decisive decision making. It's really a tale of two halves, man. It really was. It's a tale of two halves. Man, they got chippy at times in this game, didn't they? Debo's like, I'm not even gonna do anything. So watch him. Him and Conley. Pearsall's out there trying to shake people. Like, all right, Rook, calm down. Calm down. All right. You're working this just a little too much. You didn't have to do all that. You did literally nothing. Save your energy, huh? Ah, so close, so close, so close. You really didn't. I mean, have you been here the whole time? If you haven't, then it's not even, it's kind of pointless to have the conversation, but you really think that Kyle didn't call a good game? Like, why do we do this? Why do we have to do this every day, every single day? Like, don't you guys get tired of this garbage? I know I do. Like, everything is not a slight on Purdy. For gosh sakes, man. You guys protect him like he's your little brother or worse. Like, I really don't understand it. Like, it's kind of obsessive, to be real. It's actually kind of disgusting. It's not that big of a deal. Nobody's taking a slight at Purdy at all. Just pointing out what I'm seeing. Kyle called a good game. In the first half, Brock was off. We just watched it. Everybody agrees. And in the second half, he executed flawlessly and they crushed it. All right. It's not that big of a deal. He'll be okay. In fact, Brock said the same exact thing. He literally came out and was like, listen, I didn't execute in the first half. I had to do some soul searching at halftime and realize I got to be better. And he did. He was awesome in the second half. Both things can be true. He can play good and Kyle can call a good game. I mean, acting like every time Brock does something good, he's overcoming like all this garbage around him. Like the fact that somehow, the coaching's always bad, the offensive line's always bad, the receivers and weapons are always like, how did we get here? How did we get to a point where everything around him just sucks all the time? And it's like, if Brock plays good, he's overcoming all the bad stuff. And if Brock plays bad, everybody around him sucks. Like, how did we get here? Like, why do we got to do this? It's a whole team. It's the San Francisco 49ers. When it's not good, I'll tell you it's not good. I've been in Kyle's pause, but I've been in his ass over play calling this year. Today or yesterday, he called a good game. It's not a slide on Purdy. My gosh, man. Jeez, dude. It's so annoying. Every week I got to sit up here and like defend a stance that's like shouldn't even have to be a big deal, but you guys just protect him. Like, golly, man, put him in a cocoon, wrap him up, put some bubble wrap on him. I promise you, his ego is not this fragile. He's not this mentally fragile. He can take it. It's okay. Coach Shanahan says way worse to him than anything that I've ever said on this stream. I guarantee it. He'll be okay. Jeez. Meanwhile, we're missing some good football. Is this where they get the Kittle touchdown here? Is it this drive? I think this was after the turnover. I think this is where they get the Kittle touchdown. Not this play, but this drive. Man, just Debo's good, but I do feel like Kyle will over game plan for him sometimes. I will say this, as much as Kendricks probably would have rather been a 49er, I think we would all rather have Kendricks over Campbell as well. Why is Ronnie Bell on the field? Get good protection here. Nobody can get open. Purdy does the right thing here, tucks it, gets himself a first, keeps the drive alive. You see that? See that? I can praise the offensive line and Brock all in one play. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how the offensive line can be good and it's not at all a slight at Brock. That's so strange. You should try it. You guys should try it. Kendricks, man. Or not Kendricks, Diggs. It's just a good play by him. Really good play. That is not easy to. I think he comes from, all the way across the formation. That is not easy for a player to do. He does a good job there. Good job there. Just slowing him down enough, making him cut back, and then allows Hooker to come in and make that tackle. That's a good job by Diggs. Because if he doesn't get Debo to change his direction, he probably scores there. That's not easy. It's not easy to flow through all of that traffic. They pushed them right back inside to Wilson and Hooker. That was good. That was good. Man, just nothing doing. Dallas did a good job. Did a good job at times. I mean, that's a heavy, heavy box to run against. Heavy, heavy, heavy. But you've also got your heavy personnel in there to make things happen, and they just couldn't get them any room. Is it okay to say that Kyle had a good play call there, or do I have to just like say that Brock overcame Kyle? I just want to know before I start World War III for complimenting Kyle. Um, I think it was you observe natural evolution. Is it okay to praise Kyle there for the play call, or is that like somehow a shot at Purdy? I want to make sure I don't want to get the mob after me. I'm not trying to get canceled for a Purdy take tonight. You know what I mean? Is it okay? Are we good? 100% Purdy? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, you're right. Hey, man, Purdy just all Purdy on that one for sure. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Like I said, I'm not trying to get canceled for giving somebody else praise that's not Brock. Just want to make sure we're good. Do you think if Kittle scored more that he would have had the shirt this week, or do you think he put it away? Like knowing the situation that they're trying to get back to 500, he's like, all right, probably not the best idea. Or do you think he had it on deck? I feel like he had it on deck. I feel like he had it on deck. I know you were joking. I know you were joking. I know you were. I know you were joking. I was too. I was too. This was actually a really, 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 really good play by Purdy. It was a good play design too, but Dallas snuffed it out, which is kind of crazy. I mean, you get all this misdirection and they snuffed it out. And Purdy just does a good job of not pulling the trigger here and making a something that could have been a disaster a really positive play. I mean, you have the misdirection here, the fake pitch. If it had been thrown here, they snuffed it out. Out here, you got Debo, and man, if they don't get this, like let's say he crashes in on Brock, Debo might house call that. So that was a major, major saving play there by Dallas at number 52. But Brock with a very, very, very headsy play there to be able to take off and scramble. A 52 saves a possible touchdown. Super headsy play by Brock. Super headsy. It was a good play design. They just snuffed it out, and Brock did a better job. Brock did better than they did. I know. Actually, you know what? Here's what I meant to say. Can I have that one back? I'll have it back here. You're right. You're right. Let me redo that. Awful play design. Terrible blocking. Nobody could get open. And Brock with probably, I mean, not even probably, like that was the best play I've ever seen a quarterback make. I've been watching football for 34 years, and that is, I mean, there's been some good plays over the years, but that one was like way up here. You know what I mean? Way up here. And whatever your number two is at least 10 rungs below. At least. Is that better? Did I do better? That's a hell of a throw. That's actually a hell of a throw. I'm not being facetious. That is actually a really good throw right there, especially when you see it from that angle. That's a really good throw. And you see this like week to week from Brock where he'll struggle. He'll hit his back foot and his first guy's not open. And so then he kind of struggles a little bit, or he's been struggling at times, making some questionable decisions, some off throws. But every week we say it, if he can hit his back foot and throw, he's money. He's absolutely money. And this is a really, really, really good throw. Really good throw. Watch it from this angle here. Watch it from this angle. This is actually a really good throw. Here we go. Watch. It's a good throw. That's a good throw. Great anticipation. Leads him perfectly. That's a good throw. That's a really good throw. That actually might be one of his better throws of the season. I mean, it's definitely one of his better throws. I'm not going to go as far to say that's his best throw, but that's a really, really, really good throw. That's a really good throw. Great ball placement. And especially when you see it from that other angle, man, that's just a good throw. Another freaking holding. I don't think they called it, but they definitely could have. I mean, the reason they didn't call it is because Trent's like, I'm not holding, and just throws him literally into Brock, and into Garendo, and he makes the tackle. Look at this. He literally throws him in so that he makes the tackle. Here. Dude. I wasn't holding. I wasn't going to hold. I wasn't going to hold. Here. You just tackle him right there. Ooh. Garendo's had a few of those here in this game, huh? Where somebody tries to get him right around the ankles. Almost said angles. Right around his ankles. Right around his ankles. And he just skips right out of it. Skips right out of it. I know, Arter. I know. I know that you were joking. I know it. Trust me. I knew you were joking. That's all that matters. But you're right. I feel like there should be like, if you put something in italics, then it's you being sarcastic. There has to be a better way of showing sarcasm through chat, because it definitely can be annoying. I'm very sarcastic myself, and I hate when I'm trying to be sarcastic through text and somebody doesn't get it. But what's my opinion on Cowing? I keep waiting for him to have a huge breakout game, but so far, yeah, I mean, I don't know that you should expect like this huge breakout, but he's definitely had glimpses, right? Last week he had a couple. I mean, he could have had that long touchdown. The ball was a bit underthrown. It was Kyle's fault that the ball was a bit underthrown, right? But yeah, I mean, Cowling's done some things. He does make me nervous though as a punt returner. He just slips a lot. I don't understand it. Vincent, yeah, I definitely do. He had a mental block for sure. He had a mental block. That's not a big gain, but that's a good run. It's a good run. Yeah, Arter, for sure. For sure. It's like, dang, do you like I thought you liked me. No? All right, well, my bad. Guess I read the situation wrong. Man, I feel like and obviously he's got the ribs and he's coming off of his pneumonia. And I'm not a big fan of handing the ball off to him from the backfield. I'm just not. But there's a couple plays that have happened in this game where it's like old Debo scores. Old Debo would have had a couple touchdowns in this game. I like the play design, bringing Kyle Juszczyk back across the field, just to make sure that I give credit to Purdy for everything. I'm sure he drew that one up this week. I don't want to slide him. You know what I mean? There's no way. They just didn't expect this at all. Look at that. Just right up the middle. Right up the middle. I felt like he might have been slightly short on it, but they would have scored anyways. Dallas has like no fight in them in short yardage situations. Just none. Absolutely none. They would have scored anyways. So we're up 27-10. We have the ball, really with an opportunity here to put this thing away. Garendo starts out with a nice, big play here. Set up by just an amazing handoff. I don't know if I've seen anything like it. He ripped off some chunk plays in the second half for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Fa. Great name, by the way. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he would have drugged some people across the goal line for sure. I think that's two plays where Debo probably would have scored. Trying to put this game away, just trying to wind the clock a little bit. You're up 17. Just dirt ball it, man. Dirt ball it. Just throw it away. Just throw it away. Let's see if there's anything that was actually open here. I mean, honestly, he's probably lucky that it was tipped. Still almost got intercepted, but he's just not going to complete that pass. It's the whole risk reward thing, right? The whole risk reward thing. There's just no need for it. Just throw the ball away. Like, best case scenario, it's an incomplete pass. Worst case scenario, it's an interception and it's brought back for 6. And I know it's hard in that moment to just like have that thought, right? But you just got to throw that one away. You just got to throw that one away. And I mean, imagine, right? They end up scoring there anyways, but you know, an extra minute or so on the clock. Not that I mean, honestly, not that Dak was going to do anything. Like, let's keep it real. Dak was not going to overcome anything because he's Dak. But you know what I mean. It definitely wasn't helping things if it gets picked off. You know what I mean? It just wasn't. And you played such a brilliant second half. Jesse, what players would you acquire during the buy before the trade deadline? Someone you have your eye on, or multiple someone's? Well, Uche just went to the Chiefs. He was a guy for sure. Um, but I think you're looking at teams that are out of it. I think you're looking at teams that are out of it. Hell of a run by Pearsall there. Um, so you look at teams like Carolina. I think Jadeveon Clowney certainly. I think Buddy over in Cleveland said his name a couple weeks ago. Smith, one of the Smith brothers, back when he was with Green Bay, not Preston, but the other one. Anyways, he's over in Cleveland. He's definitely an option. If you want to go interior, I keep hearing like Buckner and Jones. Like, we got to get more creative. The likelihood of going and getting an X9er is probably pretty slim to none that you get either of those guys. There's just other guys that are available. I would actually love to see them go after Campbell over in Miami. God, I'm awful with names right now. What's his name? He's like 38 years old. Campbell. Anybody? Campbell. He's like 6'8". He's been around forever. He's drafted by the Cardinals, I think. Played for the Jags. What's his name? Anyways, uh Calais, thank you. Thank you, Niner Matt. I knew one of you would have my back. Yeah, Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, I think, would be a hell of an option. He's a guy that's trying to win a ring. He's playing still amazing football at his age. Like, geez. So I think Calais Campbell's a guy that I would like for them to go get. And then, I don't know. I don't really have too many names outside of that. You're likely not going to get an offensive lineman. Not that the offensive line's played bad, but I think you could still upgrade a Brendel or McKivitz. You don't need a corner. Maybe another running back if CMC's not coming back after the bye week. I guess you'll know this week what he looks like. And if you go get another running back, I think Alexander Madison over with the Raiders would be a great fit. So I don't think you need to trade for a receiver. You've got plenty. You've got the rookies. You can make it shake. You'll be fine. So those are names I'm looking at. I think primarily I'm looking at the defensive line as options. Jesse, do you prefer your pizza medium or rare? My pizza? Actually, low key, this is gonna sound weird, sir, but rare because and I don't know where you're at, so not everybody has these, but I love Papa Murphy's, man. I love me some Papa Murphy's. They don't have them in Florida at all, at least not anywhere near me. But in Oregon, man, I love Papa Murphy's. Like, they make the pizza fresh and then you bring it home. You cook it yourself, take and bake style. I love that pizza. My favorite Ice Cube song is the one where he says it was all a dream. Yeah, that's not Ice Cube, but very good job. Yeah, yeah. It was all a dream. That's funny. That's the GOAT, though. BIG's the GOAT. He's my GOAT, anyways. I don't know, y'all. I mean, those of you that have been here all game, the offensive line did a good job again, yeah? Did a pretty good job again. Are the Dodgers up again? Dang, man. It's crazy how the offense just stalled out for a bunch of drives to allow Dallas to get back into this stupid game. And then the defense just put up zero effort on top of it. It's like, my gosh, man, can either of you do something? Like, why do we have to keep letting teams back into it? You get good protection here. Nobody can get open. Like this, that's actually been like a constant, I would say, of the season. It's like the offensive line for the most part's done a really good job. And then when Brock has to take off, it's because nobody can get open. Nobody can get open. Or maybe somebody on the backside of a play gets open where it's like, okay, well, obviously he's not going to see that. It's like read number 5. And so he takes off and run. And luckily he's pretty damn athletic and can get it and can get away. But that's been the biggest issue, really, is a lot of these guys just not being able to get open at times. It's so hard to watch. Oh, gosh, that was the one. That was the one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potentially coming versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, if you block this outright, you should, in theory, get it. But do they blitz? See? Just goes out on a route. And so what? You're expecting your running back to get this? Okay. So how does he get through so free? Oh, okay. And this is where you show your rookie chops right here. This is why CMC is so important to this team. My gosh, man, that's 100% on Garendo. They actually had it blocked perfectly, 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, all the way across the board. Sauber goes out. Okay, so you're gonna let 13 come through free. It just completely whiffs and almost disaster, right? Brock holds onto the ball. Great job by him. But then they roll up into Pooney's leg. Like that could have just been compounding awful, awful, awful. Thank goodness Pooney's okay there. My gosh, man. And it's not, listen, I'm not getting on Garendo too much. He's a rookie. But these are the things that when you look at running backs, people just we forget about sometimes. You know, you see all the runs, you see all the big plays, you're like, oh, he's just as good as so and so, or he's just as effective as so and so. And it's like, well, this is why Zeke still has a job, because Zeke blocks 13. It's just somewhere he's got to improve. You know, he definitely got chewed out in that film session, though. My gosh, man. Pooney almost lost his freaking legs. Brock could have easily lost the football. It's like, dude. And then it puts you in a situation where they can just be super aggressive. Super aggressive. Just like what? I mean, we're not going to give you time to throw the ball downfield. Like, why would we do that? It just plays right into the defensive hands. Defense's hands. There we go. English is tough. Man. Just a ugly, ugly, ugly last drive there, protection-wise, huh? That's pretty much it. Dak does Dak things. You get the ball back. Game's over. They get a first down. Game's over. Grendo almost scores. Yada, yada, yakety schmackety. We get it. We get it. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, oh. There we go. There it is. There it is. Uh, I don't know. I forgot. Are you talking about that song? Yeah, Frank Gore was a heck of a blocker. Yeah, man. Film doesn't show that at all, but sure. Can you see? Yeah, I don't know. Thielen's kind of washed to me. I don't know that I would trade for Thielen. Again, I think they're good at wide receiver. Unless you're going to just go get like an elite wide receiver, I don't see it. And even then, it's like, what are you going to trade for? You know? Yeah, Max, I'll be there. I'll be there for sure. I'll be there. Is there a place to meet with Niner fans? They do a bunch of like meet and greet stuff. I'm not going to attend it. I don't usually, if I'm in town, if the game's in town, I don't usually attend games. Or like not games, but like all the events around it. If I'm going out of town for a game, I will sometimes, but I don't know. But yeah, there's definitely Niner meetups that you can meet. Moon Man, it's just not true though, brother. It's just not true at all. Actually, it's not true at all. We just went through a whole film session. They were good again. Really, where it becomes an issue is when receivers can't separate. You know what I mean? Spidey says, Jesse, why do so many 49er fans act like it's a guarantee that they would have won the Super Bowl in 2011 and 2013 with Jim when they lost in 2012? I think they lose in 2011 versus New England and barely win in 2013 versus Denver. I think that they would have won in 2013, but we do this as fans. You know what I mean? Like how many people raised your hand have heard or thought yourself like, if Brock doesn't get injured against the Eagles, I mean, not only do they beat the Eagles, but they go and beat the Chiefs. Like a lot of people thought that they would have won the Super Bowl, and it's like, well, they can't beat the Chiefs, but somehow we jumped all the way to they would have won the Super Bowl. Yeah, probably, probably. Yeah. I mean, Cap got New England that one year. I think it was his first year starting. He had a hell of a game against New England. He had it, but I mean, listen, you give 2 weeks to Belichick, and Belichick did messed up things, man. Messed up things to many, many good offenses. Many good offenses. Now there were times where he got eaten alive too. You know, Philly did their thing. Who else? Philly, the Falcons did their thing, but there were also times where he took a really, really, really good offense. Rams shut him down. Yeah, see, you're guilty. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, yeah. I looked into like hats and making hats and selling them and stuff. It's just not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I can tell you the website if you want. You can hit me on the side. I can tell you the website and where to go to get it. I would love for you to represent it, but I'm just not going to be the one to like buy them, ship them out. It's just not. I don't want to get into like a clothing game or anything. But I appreciate you. Appreciate you for wanting one. Oh, this exact one? You want this exact one? Like, no, I want that hat specifically. I want you to send it. Is it did they already win or is it 3-0? I don't keep up with baseball anymore. Is today they're up 3-0, right? They win? Yeah, Richard, I think, for me, when I look at the CMC situation, we all are optimistic. And having CMC is better than not having him. But I think we look at CMC and Greenlaw and we remember the name and we know what they were last year, and we just assume that they're going to come right back and be every bit as good as what they were. And I just don't. I think that's unrealistic. I think it's an unrealistic expectation. So that's just me. But you know, maybe they will. Maybe they will. I'm just not going to bank on it. I know. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I mean, they've really just kind of, you know, I'm going to tell you guys a mess up story. You ready for this? I low key blame my dad for the Chiefs curse. All right. So hear me out because it's going to sound messed up the way I start the story out. Okay. Okay. But you'll understand. All right. And then I got to go. And trust me, my dad was like the biggest jokester, ish talker. So he definitely would be behind this 100%. He'd blame me if the tables were turned. Okay. But listen, so my dad passed away 2018, December 2018. Okay. But one of the last messages I got from my dad, it was actually the day before he passed. So we're talking Halloween that year, 2018. His friend, one of his really good friends, which I called my uncle growing up, is my uncle Gary, um, was a Chiefs fan. And my dad, literally the last text I got from him, or last like back and forth exchange I had from him, was him talking crap about the Chiefs. And he was laughing because Gary was over at his house and he was just going in on him about the Chiefs. Like Gary was all excited because they look good, and he's just like, they're terrible. You're never gonna see you're never gonna see them win a Super Bowl. Like, just get over it. This is not gonna happen. And so obviously you fast forward, my dad ends up passing away December of that year. So I moved in Tampa in October. And about 2 weeks before Christmas, he passes away. But that was literally the last messages I got from my dad. Now, you fast forward a year, they play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They lose to the Chiefs, and the rest is kind of history, right? But like low key, he should own, my dad should own that one. Like he should own that one. Just to be fair, he should own that one. But he's the reason I'm a 49er fan. And yes, God rest his soul. I miss him. I miss him dearly, man. I do. But I just think it's funny that like we have this curse of the Chiefs, and literally the last exchange we had is him making fun of the Chiefs. It's like, dude, really? Like you did this. You did this, Dad. Blame you. Anyways, man. Much love. Appreciate y'all. Have a blessed evening. I'll be back tomorrow. We're doing a 4-man front over on Ryan's channel, and then I'll be doing the NFC West Roundtable on the NFC West Roundtable channel. So make sure you check out both of those. I'll be back tomorrow. Much love, y'all. Peace.